You know, one of my favorite shots are ones like this where like just my face is lit more or less and the background is all black and blurred out, kind of like a Batman film. It's pretty sick.
Hey, what's up, creators? Today I wanted to give my impressions, my 1 year review of the Lumix S9. That's right, full frame camera right here. So I got this camera for a couple of different reasons. The main reason is that I wanted to upgrade from APS-C onto full frame. And the obvious choice was going to be to go with Sony full frame. Just for reference, I'm shooting on a ZV-E10 Mark II, which is a fantastic camera. I actually use it to, I actually have it attached to my camera, and I use it as my Riverside podcasting camera full time. I also have an A6700, which I keep at my office at work, where I also do my video calls and my podcast from there as well. But the Lumix S9 I bought for three specific reasons. Those reasons are, or maybe four. Those reasons are, it's a full frame camera. This camera in particular has industry leading IBIS. And the reason I like that is because then I don't have to always put it on a gimbal. I can just keep this bad boy, keep it still, do my moves like usual. And it's really small. Like I can hold it in my hand pretty easily. This is kind of a big lens on it. I got a couple of other lenses we'll get into. But I wanted this also because it uses MP4 Lite and it shoots in Open Gate. So Open Gate means that it shoots in a 3:2 aspect ratio. And the advantage of this is that you can shoot once in horizontal and you could reframe for YouTube or you can recrop for socials. Now, one thing I didn't expect when I started shooting this is that I don't even crop it at all. I actually prefer to leave it in the 3:2 aspect ratio in Open Gate, especially for my social media stuff, because when I take my photos, I can splice it in with my videos and they feel just the same. So when I compose my shot, I'm composing for Open Gate because I know that's how it's going to go out in the end, right? When I first got it, I got the kit lens, which is fantastic, but I knew that I wanted something more. So I ended up buying the 24-60 f2.8 constant aperture lens. It's a fantastic lens, but it is kind of large. But I do use this for my talking heads because I like to be able to have a constant aperture when I zoom in and I zoom out here in the studio. And I'm going to go ahead and throw this on right now so you can see how it sounds or see how it feels. You can see how it looks and you can see how it sounds. Stand by. Okay, so now I switched over to the Lumix S9 with the Sennheiser shotgun mic on the top, and this is my main talking head setup. Now, one thing I absolutely love about Open Gate MP4 Lite is that I can record videos like this on the fly, transfer them directly to my phone, or I can record these videos and I can, transfer them the old-fashioned way via SD card, but they're very, very light files, so they don't take up any room on my hard drive whatsoever. In fact, iPhone footage or DJI Osmo Pocket 3 footage takes up more space than this MP4 Lite. And because this MP4 Lite is on a full-frame camera, you can't see anything in the background at this 2.8 aperture. Am I at 2.8? Let me just make sure. Yep, 2.8. Autofocus is just fine, just as good as my Sony, but this is the 3:2 aspect ratio I was talking about, which I absolutely love. And the main reason I use this camera, the main purpose that I bought it for, is for work. So if you didn't know, I'm a glass guy. I work at Baron Glass and I design and I sell some of the dopest glass systems inside of Colorado. And that's how I got into this in the first place, by the way. I always wanted a camera that could do it all, and I think this camera is it for me. I went with the Sony APS-C, but shooting photos, even on a nice lens like this is the Sigma Art lens, ZV-E10, but this is a APS-C. So no matter how good of a job I try to do with my photography, I always saw noise in the image because of the sensor size. And I'm kind of a run and gun shooter, and I'm shooting indoors, so I needed something that would perform perfectly in low light. And I thought that full frame would be it, and it absolutely is. So one thing I love about the full frame sensor is that I don't even have to shoot RAWs anymore. I just shoot JPEGs directly out of camera. I keep it simple. I shoot in the vivid color profile, which is what I'm shooting on right now. And I want to show you what I use here. So this is the second lens that I bought. This is the Lumix 14-28. It's a variable aperture lens. It's not the fastest lens, but it doesn't need to be because I don't need the ultra fast aperture on this one because
When you're shooting kind of real estate style photography, you want to shoot at a higher aperture anyway, like an f5.6. In that case, you get everything focused inside of the frame. So this 14-28 is what I slap on my camera when I know I'm going to the job site and I'm going to take photos and or videos. For my videos, I can either do it handheld or I can put my camera on the gimbal. And I like to compose videos like this that kind of showcase some of the cool projects that we work on. So check out this little example of the kind of videos I produce for myself and my clients using this lens. Traditionally, glass railings are the star of the show, but at this job, it is meant to be incognito. The glass allows natural light to shine through to illuminate all of the premium finishes. Glass is an obvious choice, but lately, the glass almost feels organic when it's designed in such a way that the wood grab bar is not only a structural part of the glass, but it is also meant to match the wood finishes of the treads and the wood flooring below. It is the perfect blend of organic and modern, in my opinion, with minimal standoffs used on purpose so that you can feel that organic luxury. Matte black standoffs by Q Railing with the adjustable back plates allow for easy alignments, and of course this project was built by AJ Kirkgard Contractors, designed by Ruggles and Mabes Studio. If you're a design firm or a builder in Denver, Colorado, or anywhere in Colorado, why don't you call your friends at Baron Glass? We'd be happy to help you with a project like this. We specialize in the ultra high-end custom glass products. Okay, so the lens that I'm shooting on right now is the Lumix 24-60 f2.8 constant aperture. Again, it's kind of a big lens, but it's perfect for this because I can use it in the studio for my talking heads. Or I can zoom out, or I can zoom way in, and the aperture remains the same. And that's what I love about this lens. So it's highly versatile, but it is kind of big. So I brought this lens with me. Sometimes I leave it on my camera. This was my everyday carry lens for a while, and I actually took it to the Royal Gorge train ride, and I made this video right here. You can check out some of the photography and video I did with this lens camera combo setup, all handheld, by the way. Check it out. We never rode a train before in our lives, and we thought, what the hell, let's give it a shot. So we booked a cabin in Colorado Springs. We had the door code. All we had to do was open it right up. It was a very, very small unit. It had a tiny little refrigerator, little kitchenette, a tiny little bathroom with a tiny bed that we barely fit on, stuffed in the corner of the room. We stayed the first night, and then we left to the Royal Gorge train ride the next morning. But we soon found the reason they want you there 2 hours early is so that you can go get some coffee and some stuff from the gift shop. And of course, we bought a bunch of stuff. So we went and had coffee. They call it coffee on the caboose, and it's just a little train that has a little coffee shop in it. And then we went ahead and waited for the ride. We got on, got to our seating area. There was a dome, right? There was like dome windows that you can kind of look up. We were greeted with 2 glasses and a bottle of Prosecco and some roses. Once the train took off, it actually took off when I was in the bathroom. Once the train took off, of course, we were almost done with that bottle. We ordered a couple beers, a couple more drinks, we ordered some food. We were able to move around the cabin, and to us, the cabin looked a lot like the Titanic. They had these really cool bars, like made out of original wood or whatever, like seating areas everywhere. We were riding through the Royal Gorge, and I noticed this little track, this little tunnel. And so I asked them, like, what is that little tunnel for? And they told me it was for, back when they had the mining boom, it was a tunnel for carts, mining carts. And so it's just interesting to see that that tunnel is still there, just basically littering the side of the river, and a couple little outposts that are basically abandoned. As you drive under the Royal Gorge Bridge, you look up and you can see it, and the little bridge looks like it's about this big from, way down here. It was very cool because it felt like we were in the Wild Wild West. It felt very much like a Western movie. The overall vibe of Canyon City. They had like payphones, like all kinds of old school stuff just everywhere. So it was really cool. It kind of felt like we were going back in time. We were able to go outside, and they have like an open top cart where you can literally go out there, fresh open air, and just look up and just notice the canyon and the river and just get the fresh air. It was pretty sweet. We were just walking through the carts, and like the train's kind of like jiggling around and bouncing around. Of course, we were kind of buzzed too, so we were kind of like you know, like walking and like opening those doors in between the cars was really hard because they're like really old steel doors. It was just like being in a time machine. So we definitely had a great time, and I would definitely do it again. I haven't been to the Royal Gorge in a long time, and I've only ever been at the top. So from the bottom looking up, being right there next to the river, being in nature and not having to worry about work stuff and just spend time with my wife Jeanette. Happy birthday. This video is for our memories. It's not for anybody else. Peace. Love you. The very latest lens that I bought for this camera is the TTArtisan's f2 2.8 aperture lens. And this lens by comparison is tiny. So you can take a look at it compared to my Lumix ultra wide. It's like there's like absolutely no comparison. This thing is absolutely tiny. So when I'm traveling around or when I'm going out and about, I like to just leave this lens glued onto my camera because it doesn't take up any space. I can just pull it out, shoot videos, shoot photos pretty quickly. And the fact that it's an f2 aperture means that it's the fastest lens that I got. That combined with the 40mm focal length means I can get some pretty banger bokeh or shallow depth of field, which is the one thing that separates, or one of the one things that separates photos and videos from a camera like this from that of your iPhone is that shallow depth of field. So I actually just went to Mexico. We stayed at a resort, and this was the only lens that I brought. And why don't you go ahead and check out this little montage and check out some of the video and photo that was achieved with this lens.
Fed one. I just gave one my cupcake. I was gonna give him a little piece of my cupcake and he grabbed the whole fucking cupcake and ran off with it. Cancun.
So my verdict, if you're on the fence about getting the Lumix S9, just go ahead and get it. You can get these between $800 or $900 right now on the secondhand market. And it's a camera that you could really grow into. So I have several cameras, and this is by far my favorite, and it's the one camera that goes with me everywhere I go. I was a huge fan of the Osmo Pocket 3. I sold that off, and I opted to use just my Lumix S9, and now the Osmo Pocket 4P and the Luna Ultra are out, and I'm really tempted to get one, but I have to remind myself that that's just gas, and even those cameras can't get image quality or versatility like this camera that I use right now. I use this camera not only for my clients, but also for my personal life, and I'm able to produce some fantastic results. And I'm not exactly, I haven't been formally trained on how to use cameras, but I just pick it up and I learn. And I would say that the Lumix menu system, to me, is easier to understand than that of the Sony. The screen is brighter. The full frame sensor performs a lot better than my APS-C cameras on low light. I don't even have to shoot RAWs anymore. The IBIS is industry leading. So for example, my ZV-E10 right here has no IBIS. So when I try to shoot handheld, it doesn't look very good. So this one pretty much just stays locked off on a tripod. The Lumix S9 is it for me. And I absolutely hope that one day on the Lumix S9 Mark II that will have a hot shoe so I can plug in one of those fancy mics. I wouldn't mind a mechanical shutter or perhaps a little EVF. But honestly, the only thing that I personally want out of this camera is a hot shoe so that I don't have to plug in a mic through the auxiliary cable. So these are my real world impressions of the Lumix S9. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. And by the way, I did recommend this to one of my partners, Keith, with My Architectural Glass. He purchased one for his social media, and I would say for social media specifically, there is no better camera. For everyday data cameras, there is no better camera, in my opinion. Thank you for watching.